Today's video is going to be My August TBR, and it's going to be all the books that I would like to read in the month of August. August is also my birthday month, so I would like to curate this as well as I can. I did make a list of books that I really do want to read and get to. There are also some books, though, that I didn't get to in July that I would like to read in August still. Like, there's still a couple of summer romances that I would like to bang out in August before the month is over. But I'm also going to be hitting, 100 books in August. So I am very proud of myself for that. And it'll be a great birthday present to myself. But right now we are going to just pick out my books for the month of August. I do have two on the side because they just didn't fit up here, but I'm going to do this a little bit differently today because I made a TBR prompt jar and I put it in this like sip sip hooray little mug that I got at my friend's bridal shower like 2 years ago. And I had like all of these colorful papers, so I just wrote a crap ton of prompts in this jar on these colorful paper strips. I just cut up the paper, and most of these prompts I actually came up with myself, like certain genres that I love, but also like, just authors that intimidate me, or beautiful covers, or like summer romance, or the sky's the limit, sci-fi, like certain genres that I would like to read more of. And I only looked up like a couple like books that are at the bottom of my TBR, like stuff like that. But I am going to do 6 prompts for this month of August, because most people do 6 prompts, because just because you do the prompt, sorry, that was not bright enough, but it should be bright enough anyway when I film the video, but I mean, when I edit. But anyway, I'm super excited to do this. So let's shake this up. We're going to pick out 6 and we're going to see what we get. I'm going to try and shake it up as much as possible every time, but I'm also going to shuffle it around with my hands as well. Well, it's not really going to work like that. So we're just going to have to shake it up because it's not quite big enough, so let me give it like a really good shake. Technical difficulties already. Let's, shake it up upside down, kind of mix it around some more. All right, let's pick out the first one. All right, some are gonna fall out, but I grabbed one. Let's not fuck this up. Okay, so we got one. So the first prompt is, wow, out of my comfort zone. Okay. I actually have no idea what I'm going to read for this. I didn't expect to get this one first. I mean, obviously not, but okay, I'm going to have to think about that one. Let's pick out the prompts first, and then I think I'm going to search my library and tell you guys which ones that I pick out. All right, let's do another one. I can't believe I got that one first. It's going to be a fun reading month already. I can feel it, y'all. Okay. Okay. You know what I wish I had? Was one of those like spinners. Okay, let's do... Okay, we got another blue one. Hopefully we can get a different color next time. Oh, okay. Summer romance. Great. Y'all know I need to read summer romances more. But I know exactly the one I'm going to pick for this one, because this has been on my TBR for the past 2 months. But I was going to add this anyway, but it's still going to be my summer romance read anyway, and that is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I know I keep on saying I'm going to read this book, and I've added it to my TBR the past 2 months already. Oh my god, my computer's going to fall. Let's not have that happen. Oh my god. Can we, like... Hold on. Sorry about that. My setup is literally from hunger. You're really propped up on like a freaking stuffed animal mountain. So anyway, this is going to be my summer romance for the month of August. I mean, there's definitely going to be a few more thrown in there, but so far, this is the first one because I really do need to make this a priority and read this book. So I'm not going to even consider any of the other summer romances because those are also hopefully going to be read this month anyway, but yeah, so we're just going to stick this here because I have to read it anyway. So but for the first prompt, I'm going to have to search again. I'm going to have to search my library for that because I don't really buy too many books that are out of my comfort zone. It's mostly like, you know, books that I really want to read. So maybe I'll search Kindle and see what I find, but we'll figure it out. All right, the seahorse is kind of like interfering with the shaking up. So, okay, let's do another one. Let's pick not a blue one this time. Let's go for this one. We're just gonna go for a pink one because I want to do a different color. Okay, fantasy. Yay! Because I want to read a lot of fantasy this month anyway. So, there's so many fantasy on my shelf right now because, like I said, I really do want to read a lot of fantasy this month. Which one are we going to go with, though? Because most of them are, like, for specific, like, prompts. Like, I have those books picked out already for those prompts. Fantasy. But I don't really have anything that's, like, strictly super fantasy. I mean, I do, but at the same time, like, they would be really good for other prompts. I'm thinking. I might have to ponder that one for a little while. Because this one I know is like kind of, it's supposed to be space sci-fi fantasy. I want to pick like a super heavy fantasy book for this prompt. I didn't think picking a fantasy book was going to be this difficult. Maybe it's too broad. But we will pick it out. We'll pick it out. Okay? We're improvising here, right? This is the first time I've ever done this, so as long as we like shuffle it up, then we're doing it right. But I might have to scour my library for some of these other prompts. All right, let's do this yellow one. Okay, dragons! Yay! Because I want to do... I love how I'm getting all the prompts that I wanted. Except for the first one. All right, dragons. I already know which one that's going to be. And that's going to be Of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen. I, again, do want to read a lot of fantasy this month, but literally it has dragons in the title. So what better book to pick for this prompt than this one? And this was the one that I was going to pick if I got it. So, yay! We got Of Jade and Dragons. That would have been added to the TBR anyway, but... I'm glad we got it. So we got dragons and summer romance out of the way. I don't know. I feel like I want to do more than 6. Maybe we'll do 8. I don't know. Maybe we'll do 8 and then pick out like 6 more books. But I'm having like so much fun doing this. All right, let's shake it up some more. That's great. I'll tell you guys all the synopsises and everything after this. All right, let's pick a gray one. You know what? I'm just going to pick this one on top. Okay. New author to me. Okay. New author to me. I mean, mostly all of these authors up here are new to me. The only two that I haven't I have read, are Allie Hazelwood and Carly Fortune. Literally, and Meg Schaffer actually. But oh my God, you cannot see my face when I keep on pointing at the shelf. Okay, that's better. So new author to me. Why am I having such a hard time with these prompts? I put these books up here specifically for some of these prompts, but you know what? I think I'm gonna pick this one. Even though it's a summer romance, she is a new author to me, so I'm gonna pick 15 Summers Later by Rianne Thane. I've never read any of her books before, and honestly, I want to read this in the month of August anyway. And it's great because it's a summer romance, and I, again, really wanted to read this month. So, yeah, we'll do that one. Okay, and let's do some more, because I still have to pick for some of these prompts, so at least we did new author to me. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time picking a fantasy, because, like, some of them are, you know what? I know what I want to do for fantasy, because I'm pretty sure this one is fantasy. I'm going to do 5 Broken Blades, because I've been wanting to read this for forever, and it was going to go on my TBR this month anyway, so I think I'm just going to do 5 Broken Blades by May Corland. Pretty sure it's a fantasy, right? Let's look up the genre really quick. And also, this is like one of the biggest books right now, so let's see. What genre? What genre? Oh my goodness, can I type? Genre is 5 Broken Blades. But I wanted something that was like heavy fantasy. Yeah, high fantasy. Great. So we're doing this one. I'm super excited for this one. So yeah, that one's going to be my fantasy pick. So let's put it in the order that I drew them. I think I drew dragons after fantasy. So fantasy is going to go there. And then dragons. And then new author to me. Cool. So we got fantasy. Out of my comfort zone is going to be a hard one, I feel like. Because again, I don't really have that many books that are out of my comfort zone, but also like maybe I need to pick a couple that weren't on my TBR for this month, but at the same time I wanted a specific TBR for this month, but at the same time like I'm getting like all the prompts that I wanted. Why can't I screw the jar on right now? All right, come on. Okay, ready? Let's shake it up again. Woohoo! So I got 4. And then I got a 5th one. So let's see what the 6th one is. I think we're going to pick... What color have we not picked yet? I don't think I picked a beige one yet. You know what? We're just going to do... Let's do this one. Because we haven't picked a beige one yet. Okay. Oh, no! Oh, my God. You know what's so funny about this one? And we might be doing it this month because I was going to save this book for later on in the year, but August just might be the month because this book has been sitting on my TBR shelf, and then it keeps on going, moved back and forth, and if I got this prompt, then I knew I was going to pick it. So I guess this is the month. But what's so funny is that I like wanted to test this out last night. I'm like, let's see what I get. And this was literally the second one that I drew. So I drew it again this time. I guess the TBR gods really want me to read an author that intimidates me. And I know exactly what book I'm going to pick for this. Let me grab it. Sorry. Intermission. Um, it's this one. I've had this book for so long, and I guess we're gonna do it. It's Stephen King's Billy Summers. We're doing it. We're doing it. This was not gonna be anywhere near being read at this point, but I feel like this is great. I'm getting a little anxiety just picking this one, but you know what? That's the whole point of doing this. I think this is going to be fun. The reason why he intimidates me is just because everybody just really, really loves Stephen King's writing, and this is like one of his only thrillers that he's written. And I also saw that Haley Pham read this like a couple I think it was like last year, and this is like one of her favorite Stephen King books, and she gave this one 5 stars. So I guess we're doing it. We're doing Stephen King, y'all. All right, that's actually amazing, and it's kind of out of my comfort zone. Maybe we should just do that for out of my comfort zone. I don't know. Nah, I think we'll pick a different one for that. I think we're going to do one more. One more. Yeah. I haven't gotten any Kindle reads yet. I kind of want to get a Kindle one. All right. I don't even know what color I'm going to pick this time. Maybe we'll do another pink, because pink is my favorite color. And since it's my birthday month, I do want to probably pick another pink one. Okay. I'm going to do this one. Maybe I shouldn't be looking, though. But it's okay. Maybe we shouldn't be looking, but I don't care. All right, this one. Oh my gosh. This might be the month that I'm doing this too. We got smutty. It's funny. Haha, I rhyme. Smutty is funny. And I already have 2 in mind that I would pick. Let's see. Let me just look up this one to see how smutty it is. But we need like something super smutty. I kind of want to keep on doing this. I don't know. It's kind of like super fun. But I don't want to be like turned off if I have to like stick to like a specific TBR. But at the same time, I really stuck to my TBR this past month. The only reason why I didn't read certain books is just because I simply didn't have the time for them. So, let's see. I can't believe I drew all physical books. Isn't that crazy? I thought I was going to get like a Kindle read or something at some point, or like a book I could read on Kindle Unlimited if I got one of those prompts. Let's see. How smutty is Hook? Hmm. It's not. Hmm. I don't know if... Hmm. I don't know how smutty that one is. How smutty is Love Hypothesis? I kind of want something like super smutty though. I'm gonna have to think about this one too. We're gonna have to think about it. So we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me go scour my library to pick out those 2 prompts that I drew. And then we might draw one more at the end. We'll see. For a surprise. Okay. So I picked 2. The first prompt that we got was out of my comfort zone. And I think that this one is a good choice. Again, I did really want to read this book this month anyway. So I picked Heaven Breaker by Sarah Wolf. I also just recently got this like a couple of weeks ago. And the spine is freaking stunning. And I knew I wanted to read this book anyway this month. So I'm just going to make it this one. It is supposed to be sci-fi fantasy, space romance. And I've never read that before. And I've been like dying to. And also I think since I've never read the genre before, then it's out of my comfort zone. So I think that was the first prompt that we got. So that one's going to go here. And then as far as spicy, smutty, I picked Neon Gods by Kate Robert. One of my best friends has been pushing me to read this series, and you know what? I think this is the month to at least start the first book. I'm not one of those people that just starts a series and then stops reading it and then moves on to another one. I'm very... as soon as I start a series, I have to finish it. Like, I don't like not completing a series, but we're going to read the first book this month because then it gets moved up on my TBR anyway, and I think that is a good prompt. So I feel like I got Author That Intimidates Me, though, after New Author to Me, so I'm going to put this one here. Pretty sure that was the 5th prompt that we got. And then, yeah, Smutty was the last one. So those are our 7 books we picked with the prompts, and I feel good about that. I don't think I'm going to do any more because I want to stick to the rest of my TBR now. I don't know if I'm going to read this one this month. I really feel like I'm not going to. But, like, this one was... Neither of these were on my TBR for this month. But that's the whole point of this video, is to read books that would have not moved up on my TBR anytime soon if I didn't draw the prompts. So I might eliminate one though, because I'm like, oh yeah, I can do it, but I don't know if I'm going to do 7. I think I'm going to do 6, like I said. So I think I'm going to take out the Book That Intimidates Me, because I don't think I'm ready for this one yet. And at the same time, like, I do want to enjoy my reading in my birthday month. And just adding Neon Gods is not like a huge deal. So I am going to save this and put the Author That Intimidates Me back in the jar for a later month. Like, if we draw this in September, then I'm going to read it. So... But I think 6 is enough because I don't want to overwhelm myself to read physical books or like... And also this book is like the longest one out of all the ones that I actually drew. But we drew 6. And like I said, that's what most people draw anyway. So I think that is a good amount. So let me just move the TBR jar. Okay. So, let's just go through the rest of my TBR. So, I also did not get to this book in the month of July, and I keep on moving this down on my TBR, so I am going to read A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen, and this is a romantasy, so it's still, this might be more smutty than Neon Gods, so, but I wanted to save this if I got the romantasy pick, but honestly, that's totally fine because I can find a romantasy pick anytime, and there's like a couple on Kindle if I end up drawing that prompt next month. then there's like already 2 books on Kindle that I have in mind to do for that prompt. So we're just going to add A Fate Inked in Blood. So that book is priority as well. So I have 2 books in the month on here, which is great because that's what I wanted to read anyway. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books so far. And then I am going to be adding both of the Carly Fortune books that I didn't get to read last month. So we're going to do Meet Me at the Lake, and This Summer Will Be Different. So we're going to add both of these as well. Those are probably going to be read in the beginning of the month, but I'm just going to leave them there for now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm already running out of room to place these books on the shelf. But these are the books that I read this month, but I'm probably going to have to move them. I don't know why I'm so full of anxiety just picking out like 2 books that I wasn't intending on getting to this month. But yeah, like I said, I eliminated Stephen King, so I'm like, let me not be too overly ambitious and think I can get to all of these books this month. So, that's like 4 fantasy books, technically 5, so that's a good start for that. That's 9 books. I think I could pick out at least 6 more. That would be 14. And then I'll possibly do 3 Kindle reads, maybe. 14, 7, that would be 17 books. I pretty much have been sticking to 17 books every month. So the other one is going to be My Roommate is a Vampire, because I didn't get to this last month and I really did want to read this next month. So this is also going to be added. Again, these are pretty much the books that I didn't have time to get to last month. Sorry, Miss Annabelle Monaghan, you're going to have to get moved. I'm going to take these off the shelf anyway because I'm going to put them in like a bag or something and just talk about them in a couple of days when I actually do finish the books that I intended on reading this month. Oh my God. If I could move these though, that would be great. Okay. So that's that. And then the other ones that I really wanted to add, I don't think I'm going to get to those this month either again, but I don't really want to read them right now. I think I have 4 romance, I actually have 5 romance books already, and then the rest are fantasy. And I kind of wanted an even split between fantasy and romance this coming month, but I also wanted to throw a thriller in the mix as well. But I really do want to read these 2 books as well. So I'm going to add Song of Silver, Flame Like Night by Amelie Wenzhou. This is the first book in the Blood Air trilogy. There's only 2 books out right now, but yeah, these were definitely going to be added to my birthday TBR. And the second book, Dark Star Rising, Ash Falls White. The cover's gorgeous, and if I got the beautiful cover prompt, this would have been the cover that I would have picked. Or like these 2 books anyway, but they're going to go here anyway. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, I was mostly sticking to physical books this past month anyway. And I already know what the other ones I would like to pick. Why is this stressing me out so much? I just want to have a good time. I think I'm just going to do the first, because I really do want to read these in the month of August, is that I really want to start the Shatter Me series. So I'm just going to add Tahara Mafi's Shatter Me. And I'm going to add the first 3 books because I am intending on reading these towards the end of the month. So the second book is Unravel Me, and the third book is Ignite Me. So those are all going to be added to this TBR because, like I said, I really wanted to read them this month. So yeah, that is the physical TBR picked out. But see how many books, if I get through these, that I'm going to read. So I'm going to rearrange this, and then we will talk about them. Okay, so we rearranged the shelf. So we're going to go through them and talk about the genres. And the synopsises, not the genres. I'm also going to add 2 Kindle reads. I didn't really read too much on my Kindle this past month because I was concentrating on getting through physical books and getting through my physical TBR, and I will put more books up here, but do you see that's like half the shelf that I just took out? So that's a lot of books, but again, I think I'm gonna get through 15 physical books this month, and I only read one book on Kindle and 1 audiobook. Well, technically 2 audiobooks, but I read some of it on Kindle, and I literally just read it like today. I finished it earlier today. But so far I've read 16 books in the month of July, and then it should be 17. So if I add 2 Kindle reads and 1 audiobook, then I could hit 18 next month. So the audiobook is going to be Redeeming 6 by Chloe Walsh, which is the 4th book in Boys of Tommen. I'm just waiting for my Audible credit, which is great because I already finished the book that I was listening to today, and my Audible credit comes out tomorrow. So I'll be able to redeem the credit for redeeming it for redeeming 6. And then my 2 Kindle reads, honestly, it's not gonna be, I think it's gonna be tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I've been putting this book off for so long, and I actually did start it, and I really do want to read it. Because even though it was for like a specific prompt, if I got it in the jar, I'll just use a different one for it because I'm dying to read it, and I've been wanting to read it for so long. And I did start it, and I was enjoying it so much because I started it at the nail salon last time I got my nails done, and I was loving it. So I think it's going to be tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I was going to say Nantucket Nights, but I might possibly read that the last day this month because I want to add a new release to August TBR, and I'm probably only going to get this on Kindle. And this actually comes out tomorrow, but this is probably going to be the first book that I read, honestly, in the month of August. And that is Jennifer Lynn Barnes' The Grandest Game, because I read the whole Inheritance Game series just so I could be up to date, so I could read this book. But also, like, the Inheritance Games was on my list for a while, and I really did enjoy it. And this is, like, the only new release that I have besides the second book in The Assistant to the Villain and The Demon's Witch Guide to Dating a Demon. And it was going to be the month where I finally read those books, but turns out, again, they're being moved down in my TBR. I think I'll finally get to them in September. So, but I really do want to read this, and this is probably going to be the first book that I read in the month of August. I think I'm just going to read Nantucket Nights on Wednesday because it's only 235 pages, and I could probably bang that out in a day. So I probably will be able to finish that book on Wednesday, and then I will have read 18 books this month. So let's pull up The Grandest Game. It's supposed to be like a duology series, and it's a spin-off of the Inheritance Games. And if you read the Inheritance Games, then you know what The Grandest Game means. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't. So this literally comes out tomorrow, and it says, get caught up with puzzles, games, danger, romance, and riches of this lush new chapter in the #1 best-selling series, Inheritance Games. An annual competition run by billionaire Avery Grahams and the four infamous Hawthorne brothers, whose family fortune she inherited, designed to give anyone a shot at fame and fortune. It's not really spoiling anything, but you'll see why they do this. This year's game, if you've read the Inheritance Games books, this year's game requires one of the 7 golden tickets to enter. With millions on the line, those 7 players will do whatever it takes to win. So that's all I'm going to read of that one. And I guess I'll read the synopsis of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. But this book, like, literally is on, like, the top 100 books of the best books of the 21st century on New York Times. And I've been dying to read this for months. So the synopsis is, 2 friends, often in love but never lovers, come together as creative partners in the world of video game design, where success brings them fame, joy, tragedy, duplicity, and ultimately a kind of immortality. On a bitter, cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard, Sam Masor exits a subway car and sees, amid the hordes of people waiting on the platform, Sadie Green. He calls her name. For a moment, she pretends she hasn't heard him, but then she turns and a game begins. A legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. This is kind of out of my comfort zone, too. But it's okay. Again, the books that I picked out were on my TBR anyway. But yeah, I'm really excited to read that. So I think those are going to be the only 2. Because again, I read a lot of physical books last month. And like I said, I want this to be quite a heavy fantasy month for me because I want to read some fantasy. I'm not going to read the synopsis of It Happened One Summer again, or of the 2 Carly Fortune books, because I read these in my TBR last month. Basically, I read Every Summer After, though, in July, and I actually really did enjoy it. I actually really like her writing. I really just thought it was great, very fast paced, but It Happened One Summer is definitely going to be the second book that I read in August after The Grandest Game, because I have to read this book, and then I'm going to read these 2 books by Carly Fortune, but I'm not going to read it again. But I am really looking forward to This Summer Will Be Different, though, because this is supposed to be the best one. I really liked Every Summer After, but the last 50 pages I didn't really love, but I was also really crying in the last 50 pages, but it kind of brought the rating down for me a little bit because it was a little bit messed up at the end. But I've heard that this one is really, really amazing, so I'm really have high hopes for this, and I'm really excited to read it. But Meet Me at the Lake is supposed to be the worst one by her, but I still really want to read it. I mean, these covers are so gorgeous, and there's just, like, the perfect summer vibes. So those are gonna probably be the first 3 books that I read. It depends on what my mood is. I might want to spread out the summer romances throughout the month, like in between some of the fantasy reads. So, I just put it in the way that it was the most aesthetically pleasing to my eye, because I, like, basically did it by the height of each book. And then next up, I'm really excited for this one. So I picked this one up at my local bookstore. So this is 15 Summers Later by Rianne Thane. This is kind of like a summer, almost mystery-ish, but it sounds like really intriguing. So this one says, 15 summers ago, everything changed. Ava Hallwell seemed to have it all. She moved away from Emerald Creek, Idaho, married the love of her life, and published a best-selling memoir. But she never expected that her husband would feel so betrayed by a secret from her past, the truth of what happened to her and her sister all these years ago, that he'd walk away. Now Ava is back home and trying to move on with the only person who can truly understand. I'm just really excited. I don't want to read any more of the synopsis, but I really want to read that book, so I'm probably going to prioritize this one, and I'm really going to prioritize this one Because basically, if I bang out the summer romances in the beginning of the month, and the rest of the month can be fantasy for me, and then I'll be fine because that's what I wanted to do anyway. So the next one is My Roommate is a Vampire, and I am pretty sure I read the synopsis of this last month, and I really did want to get to it last month. But actually, all of these books, if I read them all at the same time, or just in order, but I'm probably not going to read Shatter Me right away in the month. I might wait till a bit later to read that. But these were all picked up from my local bookstore, and these were all the used books that I picked up. So I'm trying to like work through those books as well. I don't know why I'm prioritizing those over like the newer books that I bought, but here we are. I also just need to stop buying books because I have bought so many that I am running out of room. But also what I'm going to do is that as I read them and go through them and figure out what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep, I also think I'm going to give away my YA books that I don't need anymore because I'm probably never going to read them again. Like ones when I was growing up, like 13 preteen years. And I'm going to donate them to the bookstore that I bought them these used books from, because they take a lot of used books off your hands, and I'm going to donate probably 20, but I want to read them first and then decide which ones I want to keep and what I don't want to keep. So we're adding this one again, but I really do want to read this, so that's just going to stay here. I'm not going to read the synopsis again, but I'm really excited to read that. And then, of course, next up is the Shatter Me series. I'm just going to take the first book out and read the synopsis, and I'm not going to read all the synopsises of these. But I'm so excited to read this. I feel like I'm like the last person in the world to read these books, but I've heard nothing but great things about these. I've heard the first book isn't the best. I've heard that these two actually are some of the best in the series. Like books 2, 3, and 4 are supposed to be the best ones. 1, 5, and 6, I've seen like more mixed reviews about them. So this one says, no one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the reestablishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon, but Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time, and to find a future with the one boy she thought she'd lost forever. So I'm really excited to read this. But I only pulled the first 3 books because, just to see what I get to and when I get to it this month, but also like if I do decide to read on in them, it won't be as much pressure as like just putting all of them here. I did that with Magnolia Parks because like it literally just sucked me in. But that's the thing about series, is that if I start a series or if I'm like really enjoying it, I make it a priority to finish it. Like I don't just read one book, but this one will probably just be the first book read, and I'll probably read this gradually throughout the year. So the next one is Neon Gods by Kate Robert. I've actually been really wanting to get into her books. I actually didn't even really think about reading her books until one of my best friends recommended this series to me, but she said it's like just a really fun time, and I'm really excited because it's supposed to be like dark fantasy romance, and I also have never read dark fantasy romance as well, and I've been really wanting to get into the genre. So that's exciting, but this was also my smutty pick. So, and then this one, 15 Summers Later, was my new author to me pick. And then my summer romance pick was It Happened One Summer. So then this one says, he was supposed to be a myth, but from the moment I crossed the river Styx and fell under his dark spell, he was quite simply mine. Society darling Persephone Demetrio plans to escape the ultra-modern city of Olympus and start over far from the backstabbing politics of the 13 houses. But all that's ripped away when her mother ambushes her with an engagement to Zeus, the dangerous power behind their glittering city's dark facade. I'm just like so excited to read this because I actually read like the first 2 or 3 pages of this, and it seemed like it was going to be such a fun, fast-paced, fun time. So I'm really excited for this one. And it's smelly. And then these two, I've been dying to read these since I bought them. So I picked up both of these at Barnes & Noble. And I just think these covers are some of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen before. I'm getting a little bit out of breath, but we don't have that many more books to talk about. So this is Song of Silver, Flame Like Night by Amelie Wenzhou. I also really wanted to get into some Asian fantasy books with dragons in them. Like, I also have never read Asian fantasy before, so I have like 4 of them on here with these 2 books of Jade and Dragons and Five Broken Blades. So I'm like really excited for these. So this says, fate has connected them, but their destiny remains unwritten. Lan spends her nights as a songgirl in Hawk's Gong, a city transformed by the Atlantean colonizers. Her days are consumed by the search for knowledge about her strange mark, an untranslatable Heen character burned into her arm by her mother in her last act before she died. When I read the synopsises of these, I was literally so excited and I was so intrigued by them. These are probably going to get read right after the Carly Fortune books because I'm dying to read these and I really want to make these a read earlier in the month. And then the second one, again, most beautiful cover I've ever seen. This one says, the demon gods have risen. Sky's end has fallen to the colonizers, and Lan and Zen have chosen sides, but they will not fight together. Though Lan inherited the power of the silver dragon, she understands the path she must take. She believes the demon gods to be the cause of war, conflict, and turmoil. Worse, she knows that if the Elatians manage to bind one of the legendary beings, their army will be unstoppable. I'm so excited. I'm not going to read anymore because I don't want to spoil it, but it just sounds so awesome. Okay, and then the next one was our Dragons prompt one, which is of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen, and I'm so excited to read this. This also would have worked for a beautiful cover, but we ended up drawing dragons, so I knew I was going to read this one. I mean, it literally has dragons in the title. How could I not pick this one? So this one says, 18-year-old Hui Ying dreams of becoming a world-class engineer like her father. But after his unexpected murder, a heartbroken Ying is determined to discover why anyone would threaten a man who ultimately chose a quiet life over fame and fortune. Left with only a journal of her father's engineering secrets and a jade pendant snatched from the assassin, Yang follows the trail to the capital and the prestigious Engineers Guild, a place that harbors her father's hidden past. So, super excited for this one. And then we got 3 more. I hope you didn't think like I cheated or anything, like looking at the papers, but I still shook it up and shuffled it. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to pick a pink one or I'll pick a yellow one. But some people do that in their videos and they're like, we haven't picked a pink one yet. Let's pick a pink one. Like, not everybody like goes like this. So, like, I still shuffled them up. Okay, and then next is Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolf. I've seen pretty positive reviews about this, but some people are like annoyed by this author because like she kind of starts series but never finishes them. But I was just so intrigued by this, and this one is like one of the #1 New York Times bestsellers for like sprayed edges books, along with Five Broken Blades. So like these 3 books I really, really want to read this month. So this one says, bravery isn't what you do, it's what you endure. The Duke of the powerful house Halt Clare is the first to die, with my dagger in his back. He didn't see it coming. Didn't anticipate the bastard daughter who was supposed to die with her mother on his order. Like, can I read? He should have left us with the rest of the station starving commoner rubbish. Now there's nothing left, just icy white rage and a need to make a house of Halt Clare pay every damn one of them. So excited for this. Cannot wait to read this. And I feel like I'm going to be so distracted by these sprayed edges the whole time I'm reading this, but it's just such freaking stunning artwork. Like, I literally cannot wait. This also would have worked for beautiful cover as well. And that is Out of My Comfort Zone. I mean, I kind of read Ministry of Time, but like Ministry of Time is not a like comfort read, you know, like Heaven Breaker is not something I would pick as like a comfort read for me, but it's still like a fantasy, which fantasy is my number one love. It's my favorite genre, but also it's still out of my comfort zone. Okay, and then my romantasy pick for this month, but also I needed to read this anyway, is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I'm just in the mood for such a romantasy book. And I have had this on my TBR for like the past 2 months. So this is finally the month I was going to read it. I knew I was going to read it in August. So this one says, a shield maiden blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king. We got some kings. While fighting her growing desire for his fiery son in this Norse-inspired fantasy romance. I've also never read Norse-inspired anything. So super excited for that too. And then the last one, which was my fantasy pick, is Five Broken Blades by May Cortland. I've been hearing really, really good things about this. I've actually been hearing better things about this book than A Fate Inked in Blood. So, but I've also seen pretty positive reviews about A Fate Inked in Blood. I've seen like some negative, but overall still like has a 4-star rating on Goodreads. And this has like a 4.3 something. It's pretty high. So this one says, it's the season for treason. I just love that so much, like the rhyme. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god King June. Like, what? We got some gods in there too. And it says, he has it coming. Under his merciless, immortal hand, the nobles flourish, while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. And now each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tasted bitterness from the hired hitman, seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, or even the prince banished from his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. So, super excited for this. This has been on my TBR for like the past 2 months too. So, I knew I was going to read it in my birthday month. And the last one is the audiobook pick, which again, you guys know I've been working through the Boys of Tommen series, and I've been listening to the audiobooks because I enjoy the voices so much, and I usually finish them within like a whole month. I mean, they are kind of long. I finished Saving Six like almost 2 weeks ago, though. It didn't take as long as I thought. I think I started it mid-June and then I finished it mid-July. So still pretty much took me a month. And then I just listened to the 2 longest Magnolia Parks books while reading the physical books. That's what I used my 2 Audible credits for in the month of July. So this one is Redeeming Six, and it says, I'm saving you, Six. With his world unraveling around him and pressure rising at home, Joey Lynch's life has never been in more turmoil. Desperate to prove himself worthy of the only person he's ever put his trust in, Joey fights to stay away from a world that threatens to destroy everything. But with the odds stacking against him day by day, can he keep his head above water? Unwilling to give up on the boy she loves, Aoife Malloy fights to save her best friend from the edge of self-destruction. Okay, that's it. But, like, Saving Six literally made me cry my eyes out. Like, it was actually the first time that I actually cried in the Boys of Tommen books. So, yeah, I'm super excited for that one. So we're just going to rearrange this shelf, fill it up, and then we'll recap. Okay, so here's the bookshelf filled with more books we need to read and my TBR for the month of August. Very excited. The TBR jar was so much fun. And yeah, I hope I can get through these books. I'm very excited to get to these. I think it's going to be a great time. But just have fun reading. Like, pick the books that you want to read, but also, like, I pick a lot of books that, like, I feel like I would like. So yeah, that was really fun. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at SpeedW819 and check my Poshmark at the same handle. But I also need to stop buying books. I just have like way too many at this point, but also my drawer is getting smaller with the unread books drawer. So that's great. Just have all of these to read still, so because these are all unread still. So yeah, that's it. This was really fun. Should we do a bonus prompt? Because I know I put back the other one, but I kind of want to do a bonus one. Let's do it. Why not? I'm sorry if that was cheating, but I really did not want to get that one. Let's see. We'll do one more. For a little twist. A little surprise. I don't even know how long this video is already. What color should we pick, though? I don't even know. I'm just going to do it blindly. Let's do it blindly. Okay. Yellow. 5-star on Goodreads. Okay. Okay. So that means we gotta scroll. I'm gonna scroll and I'll be right back. Okay, so that took quite a while. But I found one because they were either books I already read or they were like the second or third or fourth book in a series. So obviously I couldn't pick those. But I found one. And it's actually pretty funny that I found this one because I'm actually reading my first book from this author right now. So the one that I found, this is fiction, right? I picked Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center. Okay. I'm happy about that. The last person that gave this 5 stars is Clarissa. I don't even know if I'm friends with this girl, but saw 5-star. That's the one I'm picking. That was fun. Okay, I'm glad I got a Goodreads prompt because that was actually really fun. And I'll probably just purchase that on Kindle, so then it'll be another book read on Kindle. Not that I don't have enough books to read on Kindle that aren't free, but we're going to try and finish these prompts, so that's fun. I like that. I don't know what the hell this book is about. Let's read the synopsis, shall we? Ooh, a year after getting divorced, Helen Carpenter, 32, lets her annoying 10 years younger brother talk her into signing up for a wilderness survival course. Okay, this sounds so fun. It's supposed to be a chance for her to pull herself together again, but when she discovers that her brother's even more annoying best friend is also coming on the trip, she can't imagine how it will be anything other than a disaster. Thus begins the strangest adventure of Helen's well-behaved life. 3 weeks in the remotest wilderness of a mountain range in Wyoming, where she will survive mosquito infestations, a surprise summer blizzard, and a group of sorority girls. Oh my god, this sounds so much fun! Yet despite everything, the vast wilderness has a way of making Helen's own little life seem bigger too. And somehow the people who annoy her the most start teaching her the very things she needs to learn. Okay, that sounds really fun. It is actually on my want to read list too, so that's great. Okay, I'm happy about that. I'm going to go. I'm going to stop rambling. I just love reading so much. So happy reading. Bye.